That was Florence and the Machine with Free. Something that I'm picking up from your song choices is that a lot of it is lyric driven. And I wonder if that's something that you and I both have in common. That perhaps we have a song for all moments that speaks to us or about us in a way that reflects our emotions.
Totally. So like one of the things that I realized why sort of music lyrics and songs and stuff mean so much to me, and I always like really identify with music lyrically, is that I don't have an internal monologue in my head. Like I don't really think words in my head very much, and I think music sort of helps me sort of process emotions that way. I mean, I'm a music girly as well. Like I like if something has good lyrics but shit music, you know, But I'm a big lyrics person.
I think both of us have fun with words.
Yeah.
And we enjoy language and we enjoy use of that language.
Totally, yeah.
And I think that's a big thing with comedy, right?
Yeah.
And the way that we approach the world and the way that we think about things. And it's interesting to maybe see that concept knitting into the way that we enjoy our music.
I think that's true. I think, yeah, like I like writing quite a lot. Even though like I don't really think words in my head, it's sort of hard to explain how that even works. Yeah, I'm a very much, I don't know. See, I can't I can't do words myself.
Such a gift for language.
Yeah, I don't really know. I'm really bad at sort of talking without having like something lined up a lot of the time because I don't really think out sentences before I say them, which is why I do find stuff like this kind of a struggle sometimes.
And yet you're nailing it. You're smashing it out of the park.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think you and I, like, so Elton John had the guy who wrote all the lyrics for him, right?
I didn't know that.
Really?
Nah, yeah.
Oh, okay. So Elton John is essentially a double act.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't write the lyrics. He's got a guy.
Who's the guy?
I think his name's Bernie.
Bernie.
Oh, God, now I'm going to have to check that because I don't need that kind of hate mail.
From Bernie himself. And it would be so well written. Beautifully crafted, strongly worded email.
Nothing beats really well-written hate mail. It really cuts you apart.
If you're going to write us hate mail, can you please make sure you really think about like the language that you're using and whether it flows nicely? Write like Charles Dickens. That's what my law teachers always used to say. Actually, I was in a band for many years and I wrote all the lyrics and some of the music for our songs, and I really enjoyed doing that. And it was what I could bring to the band because I had no real musical ability of my own.
Dude, so I still do that shit.
Yeah.
I am still in bands where all I basically do is write lyrics.
And bring charisma.
Yeah, maybe, but, also some really bad singing. It's so much more for me about the performance and the fun that you can have in a room. Yeah. It might be that there's that old saying that comedians think they're musicians and musicians think they're comedians. I think I'm like right in the middle of that, where I'm neither. It's almost like I'm much better at being a comedian in a band than I am at being a comedian who does music.
Right, I see what you mean.
Yeah. So it's like I think it has to do with the space you're in, right? And how that space is defined, the context.
I don't think you miming this is really going to help the listener.
It's mostly just flailing. But it's the context, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Because when you go to a comedy show, you expect to laugh.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to a musician and they're making you laugh, it's unexpected and somehow enjoyable on a different level.
It's like when someone makes a joke at a funeral, it's like 1,000 times funnier.
Yeah.
And like a business meeting.
Yeah.
Someone makes a kind of an average joke. It always hits way harder than it would in the context of seeking out comedy, I guess.
So I can take how mediocre I am and put that on stage in a musical act and be way funnier than I am as a comic.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, although the way you've just described it, it's no longer such a good thing, is it?
No, it's a good thing. I mean, you're just sort of repurposing one skill to improve another.
You're channeling your mediocrity in a way that enables it to get as much out of it as you can.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay, great. That sounds like a skill.
Yeah.
Put that on the CV. But yeah, I find it really, really interesting that you and I are both enjoying these sort of lyric-driven songs and that they are generating this narrative for ourselves.
I think a lot of the music tastes that I think we do have in common, like the Weaker Thans and stuff, is very lyric driven. And like my favorite band, the Mountain Goats and Magnetic Fields, also hugely lyric driven. Like the writing is just sort of great. Yeah.
Cool. So where does that take us now?
That takes us to another very lyric-y song.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. No, I reckon these musically are all bangers as well. Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius. Following on from a very enjoyable experience seeing Florence and the Machine live, I saw Boy Genius live in, I think, August this year, kind of last minute. I got a last minute ticket, and it was like incredible seeing them live because they're so huge. And it was just a really great welcome to London experience that I was like, I get to see my favorite bands live. You don't get that, and no one comes to New Zealand unless they're huge. It's just not worth the trip. And by the time they get to New Zealand, it's the end of their tour and they're tired.
It's totally how it works, isn't it? Either we get them at the front end of the tour where they don't really know their songs yet, or the back end of the tour where they're stuffed.
Yeah. To be fair, though, Florence and the Machine was probably the best live performance I've ever seen. And she was, I think, at the end of her tour. And it was amazing. So shout outs to Florence Welch for that.
But this is
Not Strong Enough by Boy Genius.